I wanted to talk about twill. Twill to me is one of these amazing weave structures in textiles, which is very simple and has been around for centuries. They found very early pieces, 600 before Christie in Hattstadt, which is in Austria, and they can still be seen in the museum in Vienna. Um, and the women who wove there are the ancestors of the Celts. And these ancestors used to live in this region primarily doing salt mining or mineral mining, um, probably mostly for weapons and other maybe iron products. Um, the unfortunate part about these textiles is often because textiles easily degrade or, you know, you can't find a lot of them. They don't get preserved like weapons or architecture. So a lot of the men's work is often admired and analyzed, versus the women's work is often under the radar. But the fascinating part to me about women's work is it preserves itself in a different way because the skill gets handed down from mother to daughter, or from grandmother to granddaughter, or from auntie to niece. So the skill it stays within families over generations, and each generation just puts a different spin on it. Like each generation changes something. Each generation innovates in a quiet way, and comes out with another beautiful version of how to represent their skills, how to represent their family, how to surround themselves with balanced, beautiful, amazing things. And um, so I always like when you see this, I always find this really fascinating. So when the Celts ended up moving across Europe, they ended up in Scotland. This type of weaving, particularly like twill weaving, existed there ever since, and 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 changed. So when the Industrial Revolution came, it changed probably dramatically. Then it also changed from being women's work to becoming more men's work, and 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 then within that industrial revolution also changes happened. So for example, in the Edwardian area, when city people came to the countryside to hunt or to play other sports, they observed these the farmers and workers out there and saw their twill clothing, and they thought it was fascinating because twill is very suitable for this area because it's made out of wool, and wool repels rain and water, and even if the wear gets if the rain comes down and the wool gets wet, it will keep the wear warm. So they took this knowledge and they took this fabric with them to the city and created something which is today called tweed. So tweed is just a renaming, a Gaelic renaming of twill, but it's this fabric is known as tweed, and tweed really became during the Edwardian era in men's fashion and has been in men's fashion ever since. And there's like I said, there's always innovations in like how fine you can weave a twill and like how masterful it's been presented in terms of colors and patterns. And there's a million types of different patterns. So even to this day, it's considered a really high end clothing, a high end textile. And the fabulous thing to me is that twill at this point is going through another round of changes. So as in the last century, like mills died out, and we don't have many more, there's a new group of young weavers, particularly in England, who is rediscovering like smaller weaving places, weaving shops, like weaving mills, and recreating modern textiles, like using ancient old structures like twill. So this is one of my woven pieces. It's woven with a warm wool. It created a rather thick fabric. This blanket is a heirloom piece. Hopefully, will last several generations. It's one of these things you can sit on a sofa and wrap yourself in order to read a book, so it's warm and cozy. And but it uses, like I said, it's an ancient old structure, as you can see. And typical for twill is that it goes up and down. Um, but it looks, because of the colors in the structure, it looks rather contemporary. So I just wanted to share my appreciation for the many women who came before me who wove these amazing pieces, and hopefully the many women who are with us and who continue to innovate and invent on these structures and on these amazing textiles.